Sunday.
Hey guys.
Life Stadium in New Jersey.
Jets vs. Giants. Yes. 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 Jets, Giants. New York game, and I'm at it. In real life, it's gonna be a doozy. Enjoy.
Mitchell Trubisky and the New York Giants taking on Zach Wilson and the New York Jets.
We welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with the New York Jets. The final playoff push is upon us. It's week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They're led out by a former number 2 overall pick in the draft from BYU, Zach Wilson.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
No,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
Touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. And he finds Corey Davis. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. And that is caught. It's Davis. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Corey Davis with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Jets on just 2 plays have taken the lead. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Extra point by Nagar is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. So here are the Giants under head coach Joe Judge. They'll be led out by their quarterback who grew up just outside of Cleveland on Lake Erie, Mitchell Trubisky.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
They'll run on first down. Bonner, and the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beat. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now it's Trubisky. It'll be taken in there by Kenny Galladay. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown Giants. Kenny Galladay, 77 yards. And the Giants are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
You know, the extra point. And that will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Now Corey Davis and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. Creeping up on 1,000. Could get there on this drive. So a challenge for him to do that, but also defensively maybe a challenge for them to not allow that.
And that means probably kicking even more coverages to his side. What that really means is wherever he lines up, you will have a cornerback over in his area. Now, instead of blitzing your linebacker, drop him into coverage. Instead of the safety dropping into regular coverage, that safety moves into that area to try and discourage the quarterback from going to him. That means everyone else, win your routes. You've got an opportunity to catch passes now, too.
Yeah, a little bit of a cat and mouse game. And this will get him all the way inside the Giants' 10. So now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a first-and-goal situation. Wilson. Got a man that's caught. Touchdown, Jets. Elijah Moore, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jets have taken the lead. That, of course, all set up by the big run on the play prior. They took advantage right away with a touchdown throw.
And you mentioned advantage, probably taking advantage of their natural instinct after that previous play to be aggressive and rush towards the line of scrimmage. And instead, they were vulnerable to the pass.
Extra point by Nagar is up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The other New York offense getting ready for their next drive. And they came into play here off 2 straight victories. Are back to 500 on the year. But, Charles, is this little mini run coming too late to salvage their season?
Well, they definitely dug themselves a hole that leaves them needing to play much perfect football from here on out. But I believe they think that they've got this thing turned around, and they are capable of doing exactly that.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Trubisky will throw. He'll get this one to Galladay. Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he finally is out of bounds, but he's down inside the 20-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. The thing that hurt on that play, the missed tackle, that allowed the extra yardage.
It's a matchup game in the NFL. You get the guy that you want isolated, have him miss a tackle, and off you go.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Throwing here, Trubisky. Touchdown! Kenny Galladay with his second touchdown of the game, fourth of the year. And the Giants are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Extra point try good by Gano. We are tied here in the second quarter. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Taken at the goal line. They had a mistake on the lateral. It's a loose ball. And this will be recovered at least by the offense, but he'll be taken down in the end zone, and that is going to be a safety. Well, I'm not totally privy to what went on with their offensive meetings, but Charles, something tells me that one wasn't in the play.
Yeah, when we had our production meeting, they didn't exactly share that with us, but I'm pretty sure that on the play sheet, the run backwards into your own end zone play was not written down.
After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. Fielded at the 20. Oh, good-looking return set up here. Kenny Galladay making his way back onto the field with the rest of this offense. And they've got to figure out how to stop some of the highlights that we're seeing on the screen here.
And what it feels like, he's trying to say it doesn't matter what you put out here. I am having a big-time performance. I'm playing at a big-time level. Just keep throwing me the football.
The other New York offense getting ready for their next drive. And you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division, looking really good and looking to be a threat come January.
And are you one of those early holiday shoppers, partner? Are you one of those guys get your list done? Because I think about what every team has on their holiday shopping list right now. What's the number one goal? Make the playoff.
Touchdown, Giants! 3 touchdown passes now for Mitchell Trubisky. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches, and being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game is going to take a lot of effort, so maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful, and that bumps their lead up even further. So they like to pass there on the 2-point try. Sometimes could prove risky there, worked out.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that it can prove risky, because if you get an intercept and they return it, that's 2 points for the defense, but not on that play.
Gano now, following the touchdown here to kick it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Jets going to take over now late in this first half. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. Wilson on first down. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he finally is out of bounds, but he's down inside the 20-yard line. A big play there just before halftime. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Touchdown, Jets. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jets get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Kenny Galladay making his way back onto the field with the rest of this offense. And CD, assuming he stays healthy, assuming the health, should get to that 1,000-yard mark pretty easily.
And the best part of what he's done so far is allows him and the team to relax their pursuit a little bit. Meaning, if they just have normal games, they'll get to the 1,000-yard mark. They don't have to force anything. But one of the reasons he's having the year he's having is what I call route running arrogance. They think there's no one that can cover them, no matter how many people are put in his direction. It just doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to beat them. And so far this year, he's done exactly that.
He sure has. And some room to run now. The 30. 10. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York.
69 yards.
As the first half is winding down. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive. It seemed like they had maybe given up momentum, but not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
Oh, how about this? No good. Just his 2nd miss of the year, and our score will stay right where it is. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Jets offense ready to go in this battle in New York. And we'll see what they opt to do with just 14 seconds remaining until intermission. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. Carter, a 1st down and more. And he's got some space here. 30. And he is finally out of bounds, but he gets all the way down right around the 20. It's a big play that time by the Jets.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. The guard's kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. Kenny Galladay making his way back onto the field with the rest of this offense. This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now, they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't it?
Boy, he is. I don't know that mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought. And that was going to be off target and incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
On 2nd and 10, Trubisky throwing deep for Galladay. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And they finally put an end to this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37. That is just what this defense was hoping for, an interception on the opening possession of this third quarter.
Obviously didn't want to surrender a touchdown and fall even farther behind. And we've gotten to know this team a little bit, haven't we? Couldn't you just see their defensive leaders telling the offensive guys, telling the quarterback, don't worry, we got you to start things off. You take it from there.
After the interception, here's Wilson. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. Touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Jets are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Nagar now for the extra point. And that will tie our game here in the third quarter. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. And this offense led by Mitchell Trubisky going to make their way back out there. And it was his interception on the last drive that wound up leading to a game-tying touchdown.
And somehow you can make this a positive, though. You know why? Game tied now. So you're not protecting the lead. So you're not playing that way. You've got to go get the lead again. So maybe it loosens him up a little bit and allows him to go ahead and be a little more free in his play.
On first down. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
When people talk about plays being blown up, that's exactly what they're talking about. That's Exhibit A for physical play.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. Bonner. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. 93 yards for him on the ground now. He has been terrific here this afternoon. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that would look like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
A lot of of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a give right side. Bonner, and he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of a full 8 yards. And it sets him back for 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Well behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 18. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now on 3rd and forever, he'll look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Very small.
Well, we say it often, Charles, but not all interceptions are created equally, and that is a big one here in a tie ball game in the 4th quarter.
And Brandon, when games are this close, it usually comes down to the team making the fewest mistakes, and that was one of our mantras back in Tennessee. Coach Mears used to say all the time, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. You've got to cut those down to give yourself an opportunity.
Now Wilson. Open man here is Gentry. Touchdown Jets. A great play there. His first touchdown of the year. And the Jets capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
And what a weapon he is at the tight end spot, because when they throw him the football downfield, they count on him getting additional yardage almost every time. And that's exactly what he did there. Caught that, ran with it, all the way to the end zone.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. A nice tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. But ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Trubisky readies the offense. Down by 7. A minute 45 to play. They've surrendered a double-digit lead, but can rescue themselves late as they come up on 1st down. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Not in a position where they absolutely have to rush right now, but they definitely have to pick up the tempo a bit.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now it's Trubisky. Pass complete, Galladay. He's at the 40. 20. 10. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there on the catch and run. Charles, just a gigantic play right there.
Absolute breakdown defensively, but take no credit away. A huge gain, and that turns things around.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7. But first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
That's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if the tackle happens inbounds.
And, it's incomplete. That would have been 6 points, but somehow he couldn't rein it in. Trubisky to throw, and it's caught. It's a touchdown. So they rally here in the final minute, and they're an extra point away from tying this game.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
Gano for the extra point. And no sweat, he puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and the touchdown at PAT mean we are tied here in the final minute of play. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. The offense for the Jets ready to take over. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And bringing it in, it's Davis. Past the 20. And he's able to get this down deep on the Giants side of the field. A big play there on the catch and run. And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him now over 3,000 yards passing on the campaign.
And Brandon, I think we have to start to think about where we are in the season, because right now, 4,000 is not out of the question. I think a big game or two, he's certainly capable of getting that done.
And now they're going to get the timeout. So a huge play has them in field goal range with a chance to possibly send this one to OT. And now this game's going to come down to the right leg of their kicker. He made his only attempt earlier. This for the win. And his kick is good. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. So as it turns out, a 2-play drive resulting in the field goal. So there was a little meat on that ball, a little more than a chip shot considering the circumstances, but he's able to bang it home in what should be the game winner.
And the key was getting him into a good position to kick from. I mean, if that's a 52-yarder, you can have some anxious moments, but kickers nowadays, you give them anything under 40, and they're automatic.
And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. First down. Bonner. Oh, he tried to pitch it and the ball's loose. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And that will write a finish to this ball game. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number.
If you guys enjoyed this video, see you guys in the next one.
They think